Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Warsaw, Poland for the World of Tanks Grand Finals. My name is Mitch Uber Leslie, and it's been my absolute pleasure to take you through today's games. We are well and truly into it. We've got a few games left to go. We are now, of course, walking through Group B, so let's do it like we always do. Let's check out the bracket and see where we're at. All right, guys, so if you missed the last game, of course, we did see the Red Rush Unity manage to get that win over NOA, and now NOA will be dropping down to that lower bracket, and they'll be going up against You Are Dead in this next game. Going to be a bit of a treat for you guys. It's going to be Korea versus Asia. First time we've seen this particular matchup, and now being from the Southeast Asian region, I can maybe shine a little bit of light on the situation. I expect to see some unbridled aggression, or at least I hope so. But let's hear from our experts over at the analysis desk. Clutch, take it away.
Thank you so much, Uber. When it comes to sign language, the gloves are coming off. That's what that means between these two teams. Southeast Asia versus South Korea. Hong Kong, You Are Dead versus Seoul, NOA. Going to try to defend pretty much the region just above. And NOA has been doing pretty good so far. They could have a rematch against Red Rush Unity after this series, but they're going to have to go through You Are Dead. Now, breaking down NOA real quick, guys, taking a look at their stats and also the team roster. Evan Fall, Sihu Papa, LB Candy, Red Bull, High Nero, Artie World. Aggressiveness, yes. Check that off when it came to that first game they had on Himmelsdorf. Fight coordination, when it comes to how to camp and be defensive, they got broken down by Red Rush Unity. However, I suspect that we're going to see a couple more surprises coming out of NOA. But we just recently saw them, and we just recently talked about them. So let's talk about You Are Dead. This is a team that, again, it's coming from Hong Kong. Soldier Wu, Angel X Beats, God Cow 1, AK, Mini Chun, Legacy Jana, and Onion Head with a huge kill death ratio. Creativity through the roof for this team.
So far, we saw nothing of that here.
So far, they still have one more chance. Now, they did defeat, or they lost to Red Rush Unity, but they did defeat Energy Pacemaker. So we have to, of course, say, well played, Energy Pacemaker. Thank you so much for coming to the Grand Finals. That was Nightmare, Kui, Firestorm, T99, Hawk, Spring, and Rabbit. Rabbit, one of the top damage dealers on their team as well. Unfortunately, we're not going to see them on the main stage because they've been knocked out of the tournament. However, You Are Dead, in their own words, got to share a little bit of what they're like as a team and as a clan. Let's go ahead and take a look.
They are always ready for battles because they spend many times in the tournament and training. So they are already very ready for the games.
We are a team from Hong Kong. We are so happy, and it is our honor that we can be one of the representative team in East Asia. We are not only game players and game members, we are all friends in real life.
We will win, and you are dead!
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting for the players to finalize their preparations so we can get this match underway. As a reminder, it is a best of 3. Meaning, obviously, the team that gets the first 2 wins is the one that is the victors. However, if we do have a draw, both teams will get 1 point. And if it becomes a draw scenario for the victor, that means we're going to go to Sand River in Assault mode. We've seen some surprises so far on Assault mode. The Assault team actually winning both times compared to the defensive team not able to get the win. We're coming into this tournament thinking the defensive side was going to win it, but not the case. Here's our admin referee explaining the coin toss. After the coin toss is called and the team that has won will choose to be home or away. The home team will eliminate the first map. 4 maps will be eliminated in total for the best of 3. The home team then gets to decide what the 3rd map will be. Away decides second, home will choose first. The team that chooses the map means that the opposite team gets to choose the side. And we've talked about this many times today, gentlemen, because we've had a lot of matches. Picking the side is more advantageous, I would say 95% of the time.
Yeah, I can agree with that. This will be actually interesting because these
Cliff,
are
gone,
not
wow.
from NA, or you might really see a steps at the first time in this tournament.
And that means I'll have to buy you guys ice cream if anything's still
Yeah.
open by the time we finish this broadcast, which I think it will be.
I bet steps are next.
It was Progorok, huh?
Oh,
Okay, all right, we still have 2 more chances here.
I will win.
Ents Ruenberg, Himmelsdorf on ice.
Ice cream.
Uh-oh. One more ban could happen here.
It will be Ruenberg.
Waiting for final confirmation from the players.
not fair.
And my pocketbook stays full. All right. Ruenberg, Ensk, and Mainz will be the 3 choices here. Third map choice will go to the home team. Then away, then home. This is a very intriguing point that you made of these are not NA teams, EU teams, or Russian teams. This is Southeast Asia versus South Korea, and I actually really do look forward to seeing how they're going to behave in the different scenarios that we have seen. Red Rush Unity, again, underestimated NOA, and I feel that they could be the favored team here.
NOA showed more, definitely, so far. You or Dead need to step up on that creativity part that they are statistically showing, but so far they just showed some standard play and they were really confused on what we saw. NOA, on the other hand, had some of their own ideas, tried to utilize other teams' ideas, and they did the best they can. They even shook up Unity, which is one of the favorites for the tournament.
Ruenberg, third map choice. Second map choice, almost on the board here. Looks like NOA chose the side. Mainz be map number 2. That means Ensk will be map number 1. Process of elimination. Now, we've seen Ensk before as a first map, and we talk about pace and how setting the pace is so important for any of these teams, especially teams that have never fought against each other. I predict, gentlemen, that it will be a little bit slow at the beginning, and I actually like being wrong sometimes. It'll be a little bit slow at the beginning to determine how the teams are going to kind of judge each other's placement, each other's styles, where they're setting their T1s, maybe when they spot the heavies. And if they use the railroad track system as a grand push, I would be surprised. I actually think I'd see it out of UAD, out of NOA. Players shook hands to their boost. Now we have to wait for final confirmation that they're set up. Team captains coming in, telling them what the maps are, and also the sides. And then the strategies will roll.
I'm really hoping that one of the teams will actually try something really aggressive from the start.
Yeah,
from
me
the very
too.
first second.
I do too, but again, trying to place yourself in the scenario of where these teams are.
Yeah.
They're in a foreign country, different time zone. They've had a little bit longer to rest compared to some of the teams that played today. And they're up against a team that's kind of in the similar mix. I mean, they're in a different country, similar time zone, Southeast Asia. And so you have to look at what are the advantages that these teams have. Do any of these teams have an international experience? Some of them could have competed in other games internationally. Some of them maybe have very good managers that manage their time well, which is very, very important. But the stakes are high for both these teams. And I don't think it can get any higher between Southeast Asia and South Korea until tomorrow, when we see the teams that were the number 1 seeds compete in their respective groups.
But I bet desire is burning within them, so they might try it.
Yeah. You know what? When you're in a position where it's the lower bracket as well, you try to, some teams and some strategies say, hey, we have a couple cards we want to play, a couple strategies we want to play, but we're going to wait until it's absolutely necessary for us to play them. We're going to wait until we do that 1-2 line push on Cliff, until we absolutely need to do it to stay alive in the tournament. That's a tough call to make, though, because do you do it on the onset in order to have you be in an advantage at the beginning, or do you wait until it's your kind of, not get out of jail free card, but your, hey, we really need this win, we better play this crazy strategy?
Well, only dominant teams can allow themselves to pick a strategy that they're saving in their pocket. Other teams that are here, they really need to give everything they have every game.
Yeah, and this is the killer game for these teams. They really need to step up and bring everything to this game. This is the loser bracket, so whichever team loses goes home.
And that's it. This is it. The winner will go on to face Red Rush Unity, and both of these teams had faced them before, so it'll be another rematch as we've seen, and it'll go into that best of 3. Advantage going to Red Rush Unity, only having to win 1 because of coming from the winners bracket.
Yeah, and it will be hard to these Asian teams, as they will be coming from the losers bracket, so they will need to win 2 best of 3 games.
Yeah, can you imagine the daunting task of beating Red Rush Unity twice,
Yeah.
back to back. All right, well, let's talk about the first map. The power of Ensk on the east side. Now, again, I love to talk about the east side. Hardly ever see it played. A lot of times we'll see T1s go in that area. Sometimes, I know this is a crazy strategy, but sometimes we've seen tank destroyers go all the way to the north side and hold in that position to cover a third of the map. What is the best opening, in your opinion, to Ensk?
To Ensk? Well, then we go again. Do we want it quick and dirty, or we want to play it like tactical? If you want it quick, it's always a city brawl. If you want to do tactical game, then we focus on rail and the green side. That's how it is. And often teams that play on high level can actually meet on the green side, and the shades of placement and timing will decide who will win. We had a situation where I think Warsaw played against Dignitas. Yes, they played it in World Cyber Games. Warsaw tried to camp from the south on the green side, and they really got hurt because of that. They got pressed from the same side, from the rail, lost map control, lost the game.
There are many instances in Ensk where we've seen phenomenal play on the American side of using Pershing, sometimes Object 416s. And now you call it the rail side, where the railroad tracks are, correct?
Yes.
Down that center area. We've seen great pushes down that area as well, and pushes stop, halted, because those Pershings have 400-meter view range. The Object 419 just a little bit below 400 meters, and that has actually proved to be such a benefit to counter a lot of these teams that are trying to go for the rush of the fast flag cap.
Well, I haven't seen those tanks in a while because most of the teams just decide for overall power of the heavy tanks on that map. T69 was used a lot, but since it's lost penetration and accuracy, not anymore. It's not just as viable in fights against IS-3s. What people do now is usually push the middle rail with the IS-3s in one line, covering with 5100s behind, and doing parallel, let's call it a sneak attack, that comes a bit later from other line. If you get a team that your team approaches their cap and the other guys are holding the other line, then you catch an enemy team in a crossfire, and that is what you really want. We saw something like that when Lemming Train played today. They really caught synergy out of the focus. They were fighting through the wagons, through the rails, through the buildings, and they caught them between two fires.
But could you say that a counter to that rail strategy is pushing up the one line? If that rail strategy is coming from north to south, south pushes up the one line, and both teams completely miss each other. Now they're on opposite sides.
Yes, but you always leave something in your cap. Yeah. And if you push the rail, you're already at an advantage because you're already there.
And that's where those defensive tanks and the position of those defensive tanks really come in handy for those type of plays. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enough of our analysis. Let's go ahead and find out what's really going to happen in the games by throwing on over to our commentators.
Thank you very much, Clutch. Now, that is interesting points. We've heard the different sort of tactics on Ensk, and right now we're going to see what these teams can bring out of the bag. Now, we did see both of these teams face Unity and do a good job. You Are Dead. They did great in the first match. They didn't have the personal skill to pull it off, but they almost won it. However, on the other side, NOA actually did pull it off once, and reasonably close to the other two games. So it does look like NOA has the advantage here, looking on the past performance this tournament.
Although UAD did a pretty impressive job against Red Rush in Ensk, which we are returning to. I expect to see them playing very similarly. And
no doubt they were being watched, though, as NOA are smart cookies. However, this is the advantage that the You Are Dead will have, is that ability to... they reacted quite well. Their decision-making isn't so good, but they did have the plan and they knew how to counteract it. Anyway, without more talking, NOA versus UAD, game number 1 in the loser bracket. If any of these teams lose here, they are out and going home. And I'm sure they both want to go through as far as they can. Let's see the tanks.
Tanks, we've got an actual 110. First time I'm getting to see it be here. We had one earlier today. 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s against 3 5100s and 2 IS-3s.
Which is pretty standard. I mean, you can go for 3 IS-3s or 3 5100s. It's really standard on Ensk, one of those two combinations.
I really do like the 110. It's a great balance between that alpha that you get with the IS-3 and the DPM you'd really like to get in something like a T-32 or a medium tank.
Yeah, it's got the big weakness of not having the spaced armor on the side like the IS-3, but apart from that, if it's used in an aggressive way, it can be very, very good.
Yeah,
as long as the enemy's in front of you.
Yeah, I kind of just consider it less of a con and more of just not a pro, as it were. You know, it's just like the IS-3 just has this amazing side armor, right? That no one
Wait a minute,
else really
I thought you
gets.
said there's no con to the T-32, but if we're going to discuss this, its side armor is pretty not good either.
I'm saying it's not a con. I'm saying it's just not a pro.
It's just not a pro, so no cons. It's hashtag no cons here for the 110. Okay.
No,
okay.
it's got cons.
Oh, what's the cons?
It catches fire pretty easy.
Isn't that with any tank if you shoot it in the right place?
Yeah, they all catch fire and burn. I mean, everything inside a tank kind of explodes pretty easy.
Well, from what Clutch was saying earlier, I think he's entirely correct that these guys don't know what to expect from each other, so they're going to sit back and explore the map with their T1s until they find that area where they can take advantage. Now, one story we need to know about is that NOA and Arete are at each other's throat. These guys are literally in-life enemies. They hate each other's guts because they are always trumping each other, and Arete is obviously the #1 seed and already through and play at Lemming Train tomorrow. But NOA, I think, don't want to prove themselves and actually get through and end at least equal to Arete. They really don't want to go home with that shame above them. So they're going to be really looking to make this work. Where Yarded, I don't believe they got really anything that they're really gunning for. They want to win, they want to do as well as they can, but they're much more relaxed about it.
Oh, okay. But they have to actually make it out of this group. Red Rush is just
exactly
so
it.
phenomenal here.
Well, NOA has a good chance. They've already done it well, and there's the first kills. Evanfall has been spotted scouting, and Angel Beats take him down.
Really aggressive move. Way over aggressive with a T1. You can't throw a T1 down the one line like that without a more aggressive move. I think NOA really squandered a T1 in this situation.
Yeah, definitely they could have done it better, but I think they were literally just finding out if there's any enemies there. They should have done it a bit of a better way, but I think the commander was just like, right down there, find if the enemies are there.
Just do a Mac attack.
Yeah. And he's gone. M4 has been taken out, and they guess they think he was spare, and that they needed that information.
Yeah, NOAA's in a very conservative position, though. They're all the way up in the northeast, 2 tanks, and then they're kind of probing out, but I think if you are dead were to decide to push, that they could very easily take apart NOA at this point. Whereas NOA, I think if NOA tried to push right now, they'd be walking into a very flexible You Are Dead position. You Are Dead could flex all the way over to the tracks very easily in very little time, or all the way to the west. I like the position for You Are Dead right now.
I am really surprised that both these teams have been this passive for this long, though. With 4 minutes gone off the clock, basically, they still haven't really achieved much apart from losing one of their own, almost both of their T1s. That shot went slightly above the turret of LB there. That was incredibly close to losing both their T1s for nearly nothing, I would say.
Yeah, if you lose both your T1s, I usually consider it game over.
It's a best draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once you've lost your T1s, you've not got any sight, you've not got any easy way to scout. Now, we have seen some teams scout with their IS-3s, and then he gets triple tapped and Amarek's gone on it blows up or something.
Yeah, scouting with an IS-3 is kind of the worst scout you can have. It just doesn't have great view range.
Well, during Season 2, the Russians did this a lot. They actually didn't want their... they did not want to lose their T1, so much so that they would rather scout with one of their Tier 8s. And so many times the games are lost where the IS-3 runs into the enemy and gets triple tapped and just dies.
He would just... actual scout runs with heavy tanks?
Actual scout runs with IS-3s. It was a habit of them for a while. They just didn't know how to use their T1s. Actually, Navi could not play Ensk. Like, they just literally could not play it. They had both their T1s in defensive positions and were scouting with their IS-3. This happened for a whole season, and eventually they woke up and stopped doing this and started using their T1s again. But there was a while that none of the Russian teams knew how to use their T1s. They just forgot. Or they valued them too high. Like that.
So high that they had to protect their precious little tiny T1s.
Yeah, it was really weird. I never understood how it was possible that they would think like that, but they did, and it was an interesting time.
Well, speaking of T1s, I think in the Northwest we might have T1s squaring off. LB against God Cow 1. I don't see many Tier 8s in the area at all, so it should be a T1 fight in just a moment, and with that could mean cap pressure in the north if the You Are Dead T1 wins.
But wait a minute, we have Lexi Jana getting massively striked. Oh, what a miss there. There's no reason for that miss, as the 110 has to back off there.
Oh, that hurts a lot. that actually that makes up a little bit for that lost T1. Evanfall was a lot, but now you've got a half health 110. It can't begin
Oh wait,
the
if he goes back, Chopard is actually in the ability to shoot him in the back. 2 more shots and he will go down, but if he goes forward, he's going to get hit by someone else. And here comes the move. No, You Are Dead are forced into action here, but what a bounce. We saw that right in our face as the 5100 bounces the shot and then comes around for another attack. This is the opportunity NOA needs to take out You Are Dead if they come in now, but they're going to lose the opportunity if it goes too far. But the blue team, You Are Dead, are taking a lot of damage whenever they come out. It's really good focus fire here from NOA.
Yeah, I'm predicting NOA's going to take this one. They've got such an advantage. They can take this momentum, and there's the first tier 8 dead.
Yeah, that 110 just kept getting caught out and has gone down. A disappointing first appearance for us on the 110 there. But here we go. The action is continuous. Chopard's running away and Angel Beats is trying to chase. And in the meantime, yeah, there he is trying to get away. But on the other side of the battlefield, we have a big counter push here by NOA, clutching straight into the middle of the remaining forces here of You Are Dead. And that is not going to end well as Soja Wu is going down to 71 HP. Will be going down. Minichan's going to try and save him. Red Bull could go down. Yes, he does. But Minchon's going to be cost at what cost? He's going to go down. Soja Wu with a ram kill next? No, he's actually going to have another shot against him.
That's Artie World with a kill.
That's actually pretty good because Artie World is an autoloader and that wasted shot, I say wasted shot, but that used shot could be the difference between a win and a loss. As Onionhead is coming back into the fight with his teammate, but they need to make a play right now before those autoloaders reload. If that autoloader reloads, that is GG right there.
Well, Angel Beats only has 3 shells left. It's hard to work with only the 3. He needs the full clip to make this
caught out. He's totally caught out. He did bounce one, but he's on fire. The auto fire kit has been used, and now he's surrounded. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's completely confused. He's one enemy on the left, one on the right. He's panicking, and that is the end of his HP pool. Now, this in the back side, also the IS-3 is about to be spotted, and that means that NOA knows exactly what's going on. There's the 5100 dead. That's the last hope for You Are Dead to come back into this battle. Capture is complete. 1-0 for NOA.
Really like that. NOA just playing exceptionally on Ensk.
It was an exceptional play. It wasn't necessarily flawless. They did waste the T1 at the start, but they more than made up for it.
Yeah, just that was the one mistake. Everything else, I really liked it. The flow was very nice.
Focus fire was just superb.
Precisely.
Every time there was an engagement, whenever a blue tank appeared, it then just lost most of its HP. It just, poosh, the HP part disappeared. And that was just really, really good coordination by NOA. And you can see why Unity was struggling so hard.
Yeah, they just tactically were sound. Everything is great about UAD's tactics.
But now, UAD's tactics. Okay, go ahead about UAD. Okay. We were talking about NOA, but
yeah, but I think UAD's tactics are great. I think
what went wrong for them?
They made a little mistake here and there. Watching all of this, I felt like they were placing themselves really well. It's just things sometimes don't quite go your way.
Well, yes, indeed. But come on, be more specific. What actually went wrong? Individual misses, misplacements? Because they did seem to get caught out. Whenever they were spotted, they just got hammered really hard.
I want to check the post-game stats if I can.
Well, Jenna did not get a hit. The 110 was caught out. No matter where he went, he got caught out over and over and over again. It backed off and... it got hit, went forward, got hit, didn't get a shot off, and completely destroyed. So it feels like some of their team were just out of place, and that is tactical, in my opinion.
I really thought the 110 had done more before he went down. I must not have been paying enough attention to it.
Was looking the wrong way. The 2 tanks came around the back, shot twice into him, and as soon as the 110 looked at them, missed, because it was a rotation, body and turret rotation shot, which totally makes the aim circle the biggest it could ever be. And then they backs off, and then 110 shoots him twice in the back. He goes forward. It's so low HP that next time they saw him, down. GG. So there you go. That's the end of that was the end of the first game. The second map will be Mines, and we have seen quite a lot of defensive play on Mines. Mines is actually a lot slower than it used to be. It sees a lot of this earlier seasons, season 2 and season 3. Mines was a very aggressive, especially in the North American scene. So aggressive. But here in this tournament so far,
no one's meeting at the top to fight it out. It's not a brawl. It's just much slower. People bringing heavy tanks. They're bringing mediums and stuff. They're bringing some lights here, but they're not using them to take the hill at all. We've seen it a few times, but we haven't seen an actual confrontation for the hill.
I think that's because of the confrontation on the hill being quite not random, but so volatile. It's so volatile, it can go either way with just one click or one mispress. If you go left instead of right at the half a second you get tracked, it can make a big difference. So it's too volatile. And so most teams was like, okay, let's avoid that. Let's not try, it's too risky. Let's play a more strategic, slower game where we can control it a little bit better. That's the only thing that can make sense here.
There's a reason, though, in North America that they go that aggressive for the hill, because North American teams value it so much that any other plan, any other part of the map still is looking at that hill. They're still looking at it. They're still saying that is the most important part of the map. That's the key point we have to take. They can try to counter it out, like you saw Simp do, but that counter is really only effective from the south. It has to be well disciplined, and you can't make any mistakes. The attacker has so many advantages once they take that hill.
Well, okay, so the hill is really important, but we have seen it not, apart from Unity destroying You Are Dead on it, they obviously saw You Are Dead go around the east and then just decided to control the hill and just shoot them whenever they passed. Okay, apart from that, why would you take the hill when you can take the west, for example?
Vision, center control. Because you have center control, you have flexibility. And you can go back to the north to defend your own cap, you can pressure the south, and there's only one entrance to it, but everywhere is an exit. So you can just leave the hill if the situation is not in your favor, but in order for your opponent to take the hill once you have it, they have to walk into this bottleneck that's very easy to defend. You can put a T-69 outside of it, just to the west of the entrance of the hill, and you hide him long enough, and you can just sneak up and put shots right into the back of any tank going up there whilst you have 1390s up there.
That's very true, but we have seen some counters to the hill tactic. They literally let the hill go. They set a 5100 back in the base to cover any openings in the hill. They actually let the east go, and they just put a T1 there to guard it and just give vision. So the 5100 basically covers anyone who puts his head over out of the hill, which is normally a light tank, and they get smacked really hard, really quickly. The 5100 is also in a very good defensive position. It's usually able to hide between shots so it doesn't actually get killed, and it's very hard to spot early on. Then the hill gets pressure from the west, and the two heavier tanks, like med tanks or whatever, at the base of the hill. And that tactic usually is like, okay, well, you can have the hill, we're going to have the west. And that's, I've not really seen one team or the other get a serious advantage taking the hill over that sort of tactic. And we've seen it quite a lot.
Yeah, it's just, I think the incompatibility maybe of different play styles. These guys are all from different regions. They're used to playing everyone else from their regions who have a similar meta. They all have a similar approach and value of each position on a map. And the fact that we're throwing these guys together, they're just figuring out that their playstyles don't mix that well. It's very awkward.
Well, we are into game number 2 of NOA versus UAD, and NOA are 1 up. They just need to take this to send UAD home. If this is a draw or they win it, they will go through into the finals to take out Unity again. Now, both of these teams have seen Unity before, so let's have a look at the tanks to see who we challenge them yet again.
Well, we've got 3 1390s, a T69, and a Pershing against T32, 2 T69s, and 2 1390s.
So no clash on the hill again.
Well, we've got 2 1390s going towards the hill, and yeah, that is a west side push for the blue team. You are dead.
There we go. So, but they're not even keeping anything back in reserve. This is a complete and utter reverse of what they did last time. Maybe they're trying to throw their opponents off, like, hey, they saw us push to the east last time, and now we're going to push to the west, and that's going to be completely different. They're not going to be able to tell what's happening.
Yeah, it's crucial, though, to control the island, or whatever we want to call it.
Put some pressure on it,
Put the pressure in Echo 1 about there.
Mine. It's a mine.
It's a mine itself. There's a lighthouse out there.
There's a mine.
To the west.
It's a mine shaft. In the center. You said the center.
Oh, no, I was talking about the west.
Oh, the west.
Yeah.
The island. The island.
Yeah, that island.
The island. The island. There's only one island.
Well, it's got like some sand connecting. I don't know if it counts as an island.
Well, let's just call it the island. It's simpler that way.
And
but there's the first kill. Sojibu goes down to a snapshot across there from the pressure. But now that means that their game is busted. They know they're in the west. And if anything of their previous playstyles are to go on, they know they're all together. It's happened almost every time they leave one guy to do something else and the rest of them push one way. They've done this before. Noah was definitely watching that match, and so will know, or at least can assume this.
I think if You Are Dead had pushed a little bit more aggressively, they could have taken this west side and really tried to make the strat work, but I think they hesitated, and I don't know why they hesitated, though.
Yeah, they haven't carried through. They had something in mind, and they didn't, wasn't confident enough to actually go for it, like, completely. They could have taken all the way down to B1, B2, and actually got around the back of them, and then had fire angles from every direction. Something like that could have worked.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking was going to happen, but when they stalled, maybe they were just hoping that You Are Dead were going for a counter or rather a west side push to counter some hill play or something, and they were setting up to accept that. But when it didn't come, they just said, I guess they're not here, guys.
And a 1390 has returned to the base and is going around to the east, so they are split up again. You Are Dead using one of their combat tanks for something else, very far away from the rest of the team. At least it's a 1390 this time. He's able to get back pretty quickly, but he is now spotted. Is that? Yes, Artie World is spotted on the way around. Oh, that's Artie World, sorry, the other one. Oh, no, it's the T1 who's
Artie
spotted.
World's up on the hill, yeah.
It's AK who was spotted, sorry, on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, so
the
A1
T1
was, so the T1, sorry, AK was spotted pushing up to the west. So he's trying to find something there.
If he
He's
gets
going
that,
for the
that's
proxy
big.
scout. He's going for the proxy scout of Artie World to allow his AMX 1390, who's back in the base around J8,
God,
J7
don't stop.
to stop him.
8 stops. God Cow might take a little damage here. There's one shot, barely streaks by.
Well, this is actually the exact same tactic we just saw You Are Dead trying to employ, use exactly against them. T1 going across the open ground, get into the proxy scout position, and then a supporting teammate is trying to do the damage. So we have the same situation going on both sides of the map, but You Are Dead are less successful in this matter.
Yeah, he hesitated. Once he was spotted, I think he should have just kept going. And if he got in the T1, he could have tried to keep that momentum, that downhill momentum. Even though you roll into the water and you lose your speed, you lose your maneuverability, you can sneak into one of those hidden spots behind a rock and maybe get out, get a T1. You might take a hit worth of damage, but T1s are that valuable.
Yeah, definitely. But even 4 could get it taken out, but Janna does some damage this game. No 0 damage game for him today, and that allows him to, well, free up his teammate, who's able to get away now. So Godcow 1 did take a little bit of damage, one shot did connect, but he is able to move away, where that T1 had completely boxed him and he couldn't do anything. And the longer he was in vision, the worse it was going to get.
Yeah, now NOA is completely set up to counter that water side play. If we see a water push, I expect it to go poorly for You Are Dead. You Are Dead recognizes that this is probably a bad idea now, and it's going to take that Pershing, put him back towards the middle. If we saw a middle push from You Are Dead, I would like that right now. You Are Dead could pull the 1390s out of the west.
Yep.
Make a nice push down the middle.
Yep.
And just come right over the hill.
That could definitely work. In fact, that's kind of what I expected them to do. I kind of expected them to bring their 1390s back once they killed the T1. They've now freed them up to come back. And I kind of expected that. There is still 5 minutes and a half on the clock, so they can do some of these tactics. They can rearrange completely.
Yeah, I think retaking the hill would be useful for You Are Dead. Of course, like I was talking before, you do have tanks now to the west of the entrance. It's difficult to enter the hill, but with the layout of NOA, they saw that 1390 over in Bravo 1, over in the west there, and if he's still there and they can spot him once more, verify he's there, a middle push would probably be prudent.
Well, I think what you said, or actually Clutch said earlier, which is actually a quote from you, about the numbers. If you outnumber the opponents 3 or 4 to 2 or 3
Overmatch.
to the overmatch, if you can do that, then it doesn't matter if they've got superior position to a certain degree. It has to be executed well, though, because if you go up there quite sloppily or with a delay, you don't cover each other, you don't share the HP, then they can focus you down. If they do that, if they kill 2 tanks, and you only kill 2 tanks yourself, well, what advantage did you get? You didn't get one.
Yeah, and in the favor of the
problem.
defender, if 3 tanks, I've seen 3 tanks take on 5 just with exceptional marksmanship and focus fire.
And making the enemy block each other by tracking them, making sure that they're clumsy in the way, and if they can't get shots on you, then they might as well just be 2 tanks. That's really important. So when it is overmatch, when it is 4 or 5 versus 2 or 3, then you've got to make sure all your allies get the shots, and you've got to communicate well. And if you're blocking each other's shots as allies, that's the big issue.
You Are Dead. I'm not sure about this push. You're pushing from the east. A number of tanks are spotted
They're all
en
spotted.
route.
Artie Road has seen them all.
All of them? I think he only maybe saw...
He's about to see the medium
rest,
tanks.
okay.
He's got to see them. Come on, there's no way he didn't see them.
And then the T1 in the far east is going to spot tanks that go slightly wider. Godcow is definitely spotted.
Godcow's going to get a hit now from Shao Papa. I'll call him Papa. Papa's going to get the hit on him now, but no, actually, he gets away scot-free.
Well, Godcow has 6th sense. He knows he was
Oh,
spotted.
there he goes.
Never
There
mind.
we go. All the damage comes out now. They were waiting for the Alpha Strike. They didn't want to let him know that he was in danger. That, yeah, he was spotted, but they didn't want to let him know he was in danger until they had 2 or more guns on him and were able to do that. So much burst damage. 349 left. He can still take another hit, but it's barely. And 2 more hits and he's definitely gone. So he's got to be careful now. And and that is going to be an issue. 5 shells left in his clip. He's got to make sure he gets those off and hits to make sure he's worth it for his team.
And now Noah has done a great job of putting a heavy tank on the hill, and the fight has begun.
And he burns to death, and there's one gun as they actually make their move. And You Are Dead realize that they have to make a play right now, and they're going to try for an overmatch as Minshun comes around the corner with Jana. What a bounce there. Really good play, but Artimo is ready to reinforce. They don't have the firepower to kill him. Yes, they do. They can take one down, but they've taken so much damage in the meantime. And Angel Beats needs to do the damage, but he's not doing anything. In fact, that was an ally bouncing off an ally there as he hit the back of Jana. That was not a good move from them. And now it's the reinforcements' turn, and they have come back. Artimo got off the hill without any damage. It's actually a corner that a lot of people take damage on. But good support here by UAD, but it's not enough. And Jana is going to be the last hope here. However, Artimo is on reload, but Candy isn't. No need for a reload there. What a bounce though, and they have to be able to take out Candy really quickly. Jana's on his own. Every shot's going to be perfect, and then somehow he's going to have to bounce all the shots from Artimo. Wait, is he focusing the wrong person?
No,
it seems like he's a little bit confused.
He doesn't have a lot of choices here. He's one Pershing against multiple tanks.
Oh, great dodging, using the enemies get to his advantage. Things are too bad for Jana. Can't get a win here, but at least trying to get his teammates to shoot each other.
He just sent
Very
him.
good. Is that fire? And Candy is burning, and another bounce from an ally. If that shot penetrated Candy, he would have gone down, but Noah does get the kill and does secure the win, and they will go to have another pop at Unity.
All right, but in that fight, I was worried because I saw more shells, I think, hit allies from Papa than
there were
enemies.
so many allied shots that was beautiful. We were just talking about making your enemies block each other. That's exactly what we were talking about, and that happened 3 or 4 times in that one fight, seconds after we talked about it. And you can see how important it is to communication. Communication. I'm going for the shot, or just go around together. Make sure you give enough room for your allies to get those shots in. But either way, You Are Dead are dead. They're out of it. They're going home. GG, all that. They almost took a game from Unity, so they should be proud. But Noah, so much stronger on the day. They are really impressive.
That means we're going to see a rematch, Red Rush Unity, Noah.
Yep.
What's your prediction? You think Red Rush is going to be able to keep it up?
Well, Red Rush has already defeated them, so they're going to have their confidence back. You can see in the first game they were frustrated. In the second game they were still frustrated, but they had the right moves. They missed loads of their shots, like they always get a bit frustrated, and that's exactly what happened. They missed loads of their shots, but they still won the game. And the third game was a bit of a rollover compared, because they got their confidence back, they started hitting the shots again. So Noah needs to win that first game, and if they do, there's a chance. But if they don't, I just think Unity will keep going. It's a steamroll effect.
I'm skeptical as well. Red Rush Unity is, of course, the favorite for this group.
They were the favorites, and straight away they were the favorite. But the first game against You Are Dead, where they nearly dropped it, if it wasn't for the 5100s kind of dropping their shots right at the end there, it could have turned around. So everyone watching was like, wait a minute, Unity is not as strong as we thought. And I think that gave Noah some confidence too. I think it gave everyone a bit of confidence against them. So that worked against Unity up until the point on the third map against Noah, and they got their confidence back. They played superbly, and that is the Unity that Noah has to fight again. So unless they can take that first map from them, which is hard, it's going to be hard for them. Everyone knows it's going to be hard for them. But if anyone's going to do it, Noah's going to do it.
I'm skeptical still. I'm just going to stay skeptical.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be skeptical. They are one of the favorites after all. Actually, I really want to know what Mojo and Co has to say about that, because they are the ones who've been watching all these games, and now it's a rematch. They really closely watch the other games, and they'll be able to tell us what they think is going to happen. But like my personal opinion has to be that if Noah can get that first game with some sort of tactics, some sort of crazy play, or just being super solid, then they might be able to take it away. But then they have to defeat them again. But again, that's a snowball effect. If they can get them on the back foot, they can do it. I believe Noah could do it.
Yeah, you have been talking about how Red Rush Unity could go on tilt.
Exactly. If you take that first game and they start arguing between themselves, you saw it. In the second game, they missed half their shots. And that could have been it. That could literally have been it right there and then. But they just outmaneuvered them. They actually superior position, and they took the east. They came down, this on mines, and they then missed 4. They took 4 shots to take down a 2-shot T-32. That was the big problem, and that was really repeated over and over again. So, it's Unity all over. They have to win. And if they don't win, things fall apart really quickly. We've seen that with Synergy, and we saw it already with Unity. They need to win that first game. If they can do it.
Well, we did think that was going to happen with Lemming, but Lemming didn't fall apart. They stayed strong, and we had them on for quite some time.
They kept getting it back, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
They kept getting it back. They were rocky, and it was definitely a curve. It wasn't sudden. It was a case of they were losing, we were winning. And when they got the momentum of winning, they kept winning. And so it is true of them, lesser degree, but it's definitely there for them. It's definitely there for Synergy, and it's definitely there for Unity. We've seen it. I don't know NOA enough to say if they're the same, but they definitely seem to be solid in every game. They didn't seem to be any worse or better in any game. They seem to be very calm, very collect, and they've got the best chance of anybody
Consistent.
to take down Unity in this group. So we will see their game soon enough. So what else can you tell me about Unity's play, though? Like, we're talking about NOA. We've seen NOA, but what about Unity's play?
Unity's been.
From your point of view, because I've said mine.
I'm thinking they're over aggressive right now. I think they're a little overconfident they're underestimating their opponent. They're really doing that. They're looking at them. They're saying, these guys, we don't think they'll be that great. Let's just rush them. And that's what they did right off the bat. They slowed it down a little bit once they realized there was actually some real competition here. These guys could actually take it off them.
Okay, well, let's see what NOA have to say as they just took out You Are Dead.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm here on stage with Evenfall from NOA with a good victory there, 2-0 over You Are Dead. Have you played against Southeast Asian teams much before? Do you know what to expect when you play them?
You Are Dead is a very good team too, but we was a little stronger than them. Yeah.
Now, your next game, you'll be going up against the Red Rush Unity again. Tell me, last time you played them, you got that first game on Himmelsdorf. What happened over those next few games? Did you expect that result?
Maybe, I think we prepared to win that next game. Yeah, I was very excited to play against our Unity. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Evenfall, and congratulations. We look forward to seeing you in the next game. All right, we're going to hand it back over to our experts to slice and dice this game up a little bit for us. Let's have a look at the nuts and bolts of it.
Thanks, Uber. All right, nuts and bolts first off, gentlemen. The 110, the spearhead tank that we do like to see here and there for some of these teams in North America and now around the world, not as effective. That was actually coming from Legacy Janet. He got caught out of position, actually, and they pretty much were able to cut him off from the rest of his team. And after that, east side play coming out of NOA, pushing down twice, or the two different angles. They had one, the lumber mill, which is the more eastern side of the rails, and then two down the rails, and one stayed home for the defense. Once they put the pressure down to the south, it pretty much was game over, piecemeal against
Crossfire.
Against the Crossfire. Anything UAD could have done differently?
Well, they played a bit too passive in their southern positions. So NOD had really bad positioning in the start of the match and in the middle of the match. They only started to work it out after they moved to the green side and to the train tracks. Before that, they were in a little very tight area in the north corner of the map. And that was the time when UAD could have punished NOD.
Yeah, there were a couple moments where they could have gone for the punishment, but unfortunately, they just couldn't activate that trigger. They couldn't pull the trigger to make that happen.
The team that wants to play passive must know every rock and bush in that part of the map, and they must have a force ready to counterattack. They cannot just sit and wait something to happen. It will not happen. I mean, bad teams will come, but these guys actually made it here to grand finals. Why would they just suicide to them?
I mean, all kind of factors could have been it, but when it came down to the better team that won, it was NOA. Game 2, Mines, Pershing play, water side, UAD. I'm thinking, hey, all right, You Are Dead. Let's see something from the water side in this game. No. All right. Well, what is your adjustment? What is your audible, your plan B? Oh, pushing up the east side again. Okay, from the south. That didn't work either. So I feel that UAD definitely has potential and talent. Okay, we can agree upon that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. But what they have to get better at is what to do when things go wrong, and especially what to do by being aggressive at the beginning, it not working for them, and then moving to their plan B, then moving to a different route, a different point of the map, a different strategic location that they can use to their advantage.
They must be more daring when it matters and not when it's burning up under their feet.
Yeah. Well, the next match is going to be NOA versus Red Rush Unity. NOA, I mean, for them, quick 2-0. Now they're up against a tough hill to climb. They have to win the next best. They have to win the next best of threes, both of them, in order to advance against Red Rush Unity. Red Rush Unity has to win one match and then draw, and then they're in.
Yeah, pretty much. It will be a really hard climb for NOD to make it up. But, well, they need to step up their game and do more of those unorthodox games that they won the one round against Unity.
Use that creativity. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will continue with the final series of the evening. Stay tuned. You're watching the Wargaming.net League Global Grand Finals live from Warsaw, Poland.